Welcome to the Fightcast, the podcast from the Fight Buddies. We're a bunch of friends who are passionate about fighting games and all that lies in between.
Hello, and welcome back to another episode of the Fight Buddies. I've Sin. I've got a channel on YouTube at Sin Game, and that's where I play lots of fighting games. And as always, I am joined by my co-anchor, Mr. Hayabusa. How are you, mate?
I'm very well, buddy. How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Do you want to tell everyone about where your channel can be found, mate?
Certainly, yeah. I have my own YouTube channel, which is Hayabusa's Fight Palace. Mainly just doing little combo shorts from various fighting games at the moment. But there's one or two other videos on there, like little snippets of Terminator Resistance and things like that. So yeah, please do check it out.
And now we've got all the formalities out of the way. Who are we going to speak about today? Well, we've been talking about this for a while, haven't we? Doing this one.
We have indeed.
And I suppose it would make more sense to basically start. We should have opened this particular podcast with transcending history and the world, a tale of soul and sword, eternally told. Which, for me, as a paragraph of the opening of a game, was one of the most attention-grabbing moments in gaming for me, certainly in fighting games.
Yeah, to see it was certainly the first 3D weapons-based fighter I ever saw.
Yeah, I mean, I'm conveniently glossing over Toshinden here, but yeah, for me, Soul Blade. So if you guys couldn't work it out, we're here to talk about the Soul Calibur series today.
Yeah.
Now, honestly, one of the first games I ever had on PS1 was the original Soul Blade, and I don't feel it gets talked about enough. You know?
No, people just seem to remember the first Soul Calibur more than they do this one.
Yeah, but you can't.
Yeah.
From right now, this is the thing with Soul Calibur. The lore is very, very, very entrenched. I mean, if you've ever played any of the games, if you go on like the gallery, there is literally veritable novels worth of lore attached to each of the characters, the whole legend of the Soul Edge, and when the Soul Edge needed its counterpart for balance, that's when the Soul Calibur came in. I mean, I am massively paraphrasing what is essentially almost Lord of the Rings sized tomes worth of lore here. You know, there is a lot that's going on under the hood with the Soul Calibur games, which I think the average casual player wouldn't really pick up on, because you buy a Soul Calibur game because you want to hit someone with a sword. You're not doing it so you can sit there and read a novel, and I get that.
No. I mean, for the lore lovers out there, it's right up your street. But yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I appreciate there are some people out there who actually read the books in Skyrim when they pick them up.
Yeah.
I'm not one of them. I want to, like I said previously, hit someone with a sword. As callous as that sounds, but that's just a bit. Soul Calibur is a very, very well thought of series. You know, I think one of the other kind of reasons I wanted to particularly do this, which we will talk about later, is there's a lot of kind of talk on social media platforms about how the Soul Calibur series is dead or how it's fallen. Now, we will come to this later on, but I disagree with that.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I wouldn't say it's dead, but you know, it probably needs another game now.
Yeah, I mean, it's not as popular as Tekken, Mortal Kombat, and Street Fighter.
Yeah, but you know, just to keep itself relevant, you know, I think it probably could do with another game now.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. So I mean, if we think about it, right, there's 6 main Soul Calibur games, and essentially the prequel was Soul Blade.
Yeah.
Now, I think.
I mean, there is other games like Legends and Unbreakable Soul, but we don't.
We're
really
going to focus on the main series here.
We're just going to be doing the main 6.
Yeah. Well, technically 7.
Well, main
7 actually. Yeah. And I mean, this is just, I think I said this to you before we hit record here. Now, this is just personal opinion. Soul Blade is one of the best games on PlayStation 1.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. You know, with obviously with that dramatic opening, that wonderful soundtrack it has.
I mean, that's just it. For me, it was for its day, it was a total package. In fact, you could argue it was ahead of its time.
Yeah.
there's not many games on PlayStation 1 that had a full cinematic opening. The sound effects, I mean, you and I love the commentators in particular.
Yeah. The commentator comes out with some brilliant ones, and then obviously there's that bit when you press start at the right time, and he goes, "The grueling battle ended with the victory of you win."
For the benefit of those of you who don't know what that sounds like, I'm just going to insert it here.
The grueling battle ended with the victory of you win.
But I mean, so talk about the sound of the kind of original Soul Blade, the music, the actual soundtrack as you're fighting was so good. Now everyone,
it's like something from a
Hans Zimmer,
one of those dramatic films, like, I don't know, like Conan or something.
Yeah, fantasy films. So
or Troll.
Yeah, I mean that's just there is something, there's a majesty about Soul Blade, which I think it's not period specific music mixed in with a modern guitar. It's all classical. Yeah, and I think that was daring to be bold. I do think. I mean, look, even myself, when you say PlayStation 1 fighters, Tekken 3 is what everyone talks about. But for what Tekken 3 did for the Tekken franchise, surely Soul Blade should be spoken in the same breath.
Oh yeah, because it came out 1996, didn't it? A year after Tekken 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It still holds up now. I can go back and play Soul Blade now, and it's still really, good. I still have a great time playing it.
Don't do what I did yesterday, though, is play Soul Calibur 2.
Yeah.
And then go back to Soul Blade, and you're waiting for ages for your character to get up.
Yeah. I think Soul Calibur 2 was a very, very polished article, but when we were in PlayStation 2 era by this stage, I mean, in recent memory, I've got Soul Caliburs 2 and 3 to hand. I mean, they are very, very, very good games. I must admit, I did go on a bit of a hiatus. I didn't really touch Soul Caliburs 4 and 5. I'm very aware of them, and I've seen people play them, but I myself don't own them. But 6, I actually really enjoy 6.
I mean, now that 6 has been, it's not going to get any more patches, but its final patch has really, really made it a good game, because to start with, it was kind of shunned because of the they had the not so long ago they were talking when it came out, I beg your pardon, when the main dev, the director or whatever, and he was talking about the mechanics of the game, it was shunned for mainly because of this reason, which was the I think it's called the blade parry. Yeah, and this is the dev's words. He said it's to even it out between players who aren't so good and experienced players, and that's just what you want to hear if you're an experienced player.
I mean, we went on a very similar rant in the Tekken podcast for the very, very same reason. That there is, it does seem to be a modern fighting game stance that they don't want people picking up the game for the first time now to get completely bodied by people like you and me who have been playing for many years. But my argument is, like, that's life though, isn't it? That is life. Just because I decided to buy a pair of football boots, that doesn't mean I can just walk into a Premier League squad because they're like, right, everyone played. Everyone else don't play as good.
Doesn't mean you can turn up for Saints, does it?
No, exactly. It's like, oh, right, this guy's new. Don't play so hard. You're like, no. You're either at that level, or you work towards to get that level. And if you don't make it to that level, then by all means, play something else.
With fighting games now, there is. An attitude of, I'm not saying everybody's like this, because they're not, but there is a certain attitude going around now that nobody really wants to go through the hard stuff and pay their dues. Yeah,
they'd rather pay more money to just get to the same level as someone who's been doing it for ages. And I disagree with that, but I mean, I suppose this is the other reason why I do kind of, I'm gonna fight Soul Calibur 6's corner here. Soul Calibur 6, yes, it does kind of have the supers, the very thing that annoys me in Tekken, but you gotta earn it. Whereas Tekken, you get the rage art, same as Mortal Kombat, by getting your face beaten in. Soul Calibur, on the other hand, you do it by doing certain things in the game, like you said, the parries, like the blocks, like the dodges, like mechanic wise with Soul Calibur 6, of course, you've got the one where it goes into the stone paper scissors mode, isn't it, where it goes red. I can't remember what the mode's called, but depending on each of them,
it all slows down, and then that's right. Yeah,
when I did the Yoshimitsu video, I was always pressing the kick because he spins out the way. I was always doing that.
Yeah,
but I quite like that because Soul Calibur is do I say it's tactical? It's more patient. It's the same way that when you coach me through Samurai Showdown, if you go straight onto full blown rushdown, you only get countered.
Oh yeah, they're either they're just going to stand there and block, and then sidestep, and then you're in trouble, or they're going to parry and then just unload on you.
Yeah, but that isn't that kind of akin to actual sword fighting? If you're in a sword fight and one guy just goes absolute windmill mode, he's probably going to lose the sword fight.
Yeah, it just go hacking away. It don't work like that.
Yeah, because with the weapon, you tire yourself out. Yeah. There's something called lactic acid.
Yeah.
Especially if you've got like a big wieldy weapon, like a halberd or something like that, or a odachi or something like that.
Yeah, longsword or something. Yeah,
a claymore. You're not going to be absolutely swinging full tilt very long if that is exactly what your fighting style is. So, I mean, I really, really like the aspect as you kind of. I'm not going to be so arrogant and say, "Oh, it's the thinking man's game." It's not. It's you've just got to take your Tekken brain out and put your Soul Calibur brain in.
Yeah, you've just got to be.
Have your wits about you. Have your wits about you.
How that game works. You can't bring any outside strategies in. It's very specific.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not saying you can't go absolutely ham. I mean, there are moments where you can, like if your opponent foolishly turns their back on you. It's the same as Tekken. The instant someone's turned their back on you, and you get that first hit in, you can go absolutely ham on them.
Yeah, and or you get a successful sidestep, you can do what you like.
I'm really pleased you brought up the sidestep while we're discussing the mechanics. How much more is the sidestep in Soul Calibur compared to like Tekken? You do a sidestep in Tekken, you kind of go a little bit to the side, like 10 degrees to the side. Soul Calibur, it's a good 90 degrees.
Yeah. The Soul Calibur one, you can end up running rings around them, basically.
Well, that's just it. You literally can. You can literally just orbit them in an almost unrealistic way. So, I mean, again, it's part of the game. It's always been part of the game. It's definitely an aspect of the game which you have to get used to. You don't have to like it. You just got to get used to it. And I do forget that. I mean, I play a lot of Tekken 8. If I go back and play Soul Calibur 6, I go, what? And, I mean, let's be honest. Kazuya is the only one who can sidestep like that in Tekken 8 because Kazuya.
Yeah.
Whereas that is a staple. And it's a staple tactic. Sidestepping is so more important in Soul Calibur for the very reason that your two weapon attack buttons is vertical and horizontal. If you are facing an opponent, facing an opponent who is vertical looks better. Don't be wrong. The vertical slash attack looks better than the horizontal, but it's sidesteppable. Whereas this horizontal will track.
The horizontal one is your friend. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, horizontal is basically your whiff button, and your punish button's your vertical. Really, I mean,
that's it. Yeah.
Depending on the character, kicks can kind of do that, but again, I get funny looks when when you do kick people in Soul Calibur. Why would you kick someone? Because this is where people don't understand frame advantage, isn't it? Because a kick is going to have a significantly smaller wind up than a heavy slash,
and it's a useful poke, just to make them keep their distance and. So they don't get inside. Yeah,
I mean, Modern Samurai Showdown's the same. Actually, come to think of it, isn't it?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, you've got your poke. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, using a kick button. I mean, it's a very valid strat.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
that
I mean,
is. Oh, sorry.
I mean, in Samurai Showdown, the kick is more useful for some characters than it is others. But in Soul Calibur, doesn't matter which one, or Soul Blade, doesn't matter which game, it is useful for everybody.
And there are some characters who are better at kicking than others. I mean, I'm citing Taki, for example. Taki's got a good kick on her. You know.
Yeah, because her kick actually combos into stuff.
It does. It's because it's to make up the fact that she's only got a small tanto. So
yeah.
Whereas if you look at like a Mitsurugi, he's got a very large katana.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I suppose, I mean, that is actually, I'm just looking, I mean, that's something I didn't write down for this game is, you know, this is a weapons-based game. I even put a little thing for us to talk about the weapons. So let's talk about the weapons. So, right, the array of weapons is amazing. I mean, I don't know, have you ever watched Forged in Fire?
No, I haven't.
Well, they make different kind of weapons in that, as judged by the name. But I mean, I know lots of the weapons they will make in Forged in Fire because of Soul Blade. How cool is that?
Okay, yeah. So that's good.
You know, it's not just here's a weapons-based fight. Everyone has a sword. It's not like that at all. Because as we mentioned, Taki's got a tanto, which of course is a smaller Japanese blade. Mitsurugi's of course got your normal katana. But I mean,
but then you have characters like Rock who have got a heavy axe.
Rock's got an axe. Siegfried's got a claymore.
Yeah.
You know, you've got dual wielders in Cervantes. You know, you don't just have to have just that one big heavy weapon. You can have that, but some of them aren't even sharp. Like Killick's got I know it's not a stick. He's got a staff. He's got, you know, and then there's Voldo.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
you know,
Voldo with his what would you call him?
So his default one, which is basically 3 blades on almost like a handguard, is called a Katar.
Huh. Yeah, it says here actually, because I've got the list up.
You got the list up, yeah. He's got a Katar, which was I believe was used by the Indian military. I could be wrong. With that. They say I only know that because again they said it in Forged in Fire. But
oh yeah, no, it says here, in India, characteristic of Indian daggers.
Yeah, exactly. It's and yet Voldo's not Indian. He's Italian, isn't he? He's a I mean, in terms of lore, Voldo is possibly one of the weirdest characters imaginable.
Yeah, like because he was like the butler to a rich man who died,
and he guarded the vault.
He still lives there, even though the bloke's dead.
Yeah, but he's locked away in a vault. How does he eat? I maybe I'm reading into it too much, and I don't get me started on the weird bondage gear. So, I mean,
and the thing is, when you have to fight him, how do you get into the vault?
Yeah, you just accept that. I mean, again, it's a very cool level because coins flash up, don't they, when you hit the ground, don't they? In the vault levels. That's very very cool. I mean, to be honest, Li Long was my favourite in Soul Blade, and he didn't have a blade. he had a it's technically a trifold staff. We call them nunchucks because it's easier to say nunchucks, but technically the middle bit's not a chain before any weapon gatekeeper decides to correct me. I'm aware that it's not actually a chain. I mean, now they did away with Li Long, which I think is a travesty, and replaced it with Maxi, but the weapon's still there.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like Huang, do you remember, was it Huang Songxion, wasn't it? The Korean fella. He had like a sort of falchion kind of blade. And if you remember,
I think it's Chinese broadsword, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember. The name escapes me. Lots of them have it in Dynasty Warriors kind of weapon. But
that a bit like Wanfu in Samsho.
Yeah, exactly. Or Shi Hao-dun in Dynasty Warriors, for example. But I remember when you kind of collected the weapons, Huang had a really long sword and it was invisible. Do you remember that in the original Soul Blade?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah,
because that was so good. I mean, and this is what I mean with the majesty of Soul Blade was. I mean, we're kind of talk about the game modes here. We kind of touched on it briefly. Yes, you got your normal versus, you got your normal arcade mode. You have your kind of mini stories. Yeah. Soul Blade brought in something that was called Edge Master mode, and I love Edge Master mode. You know what I mean? Which
Yeah,
basically,
it was a really fun mode.
so,
really good mode.
Just kind of, just want to describe to everyone what Edgemaster mode was.
Yeah, it was, well, basically, it was an RPG within the Soul Blade game.
Exactly. How many fighting games can you think of that basically, without it being a spin-off, within the core game itself, had a totally different game mode of a totally different way of playing it? I can't think of hardly any.
Yeah, I mean, we did touch on this before we went live, but there was also Tekken Force, which was not an RPG kind of thing, but it was a different way of playing the game within the game itself, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, Tekken 3 had Tekken Ball, of course, as well,
Tekken Ball,
which kind of broke that barrier. But Edgemaster mode was essentially an RPG. I mean, it was quite cool because it was like pages of a book, wasn't it? As they kind of travelled around the world, looking for 9 times out of 10, looking for the soul blade itself. The soul edge.
Yeah. Look at on their own individual quest, and it would play to you like a drama, wouldn't it?
It did. It was because it also had it mixed it up a bit, because there'd be certain scenarios you're poisoned, so your health's going down all the time, or you've got to fight 5 people in a row on the same health bar because you've been accosted by bandits. And I thought that was very clever. But the cool thing was, each weapon you unlocked obviously had good and bad points, and you could then play that in the arcade mode and versus.
Yeah. Because I played the version of that in Soul Calibur 3. That was the one I put the most time in on the Edgemaster mode, or whatever version of that it was called in that one. But because I ended up choosing that girl who has the big hoop.
Oh, Tyra.
Yeah.
Yes. The big. It's a good thing I knew what you meant.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was...
Yeah. Then you could get different ones for her, and then you could, like you say, you could use it in regular arcade mode.
Yeah. Oh, hang on a minute. Soul Calibur 3. Wasn't that the RTS kind of side mode? Wasn't it? It was like a real-time strategy one. It was called Chronicles of the Sword. It was called, wasn't it? Because you had troops and a commander, and you had to overthrow strongholds from memory.
I don't remember them.
We definitely got to go look back and kind of have a look at that. I've got this memory that when Final Fantasy VII had all those random what we call mini games.
Yes.
I mean, each of the Soul Caliburs, I think, did kind of have something of that ilk. I mean, if we fast forward all the way time now to Soul Calibur 6, we've got Libra of the Soul, which is again an RPG mode, but you create your own character, which I spent far too long doing, by the way.
You love a good creator character.
I do. I really do. I just sort of sit there, just end up. I think because it's kind of weapon based, I've now I've done 2 Libra of Soul playthroughs, and I based it on Demon Slayer because, of course, Demon Slayer is the swordsman, so. And it kind of fits in quite nicely. Yeah, I had my main character was basically based on Rengoku from Demon Slayer, and I absolutely loved it because I was kind of putting 2 things I like together in the same place, which was really, really cool. But yeah, no, I'm definitely going to have to look into it. I'm pretty sure it was called Chronicles of the Sword, and it was an RTS, which is very you for a start.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was like, it's daring. Soul Calibur's dared to be different, and has kind of always dared to be different, because it's not just Tekken with swords. I hate the way that people think Soul Calibur is basically Tekken with swords.
Yeah, I mean, just because there are some similarities, it goes a lot deeper than that.
Yeah, and because it's Namco, everyone's like, oh, because they made Tekken, this must just be Tekken. It's not. Just put that out of your head, because that's just ridiculous.
I mean, the strategy's different. Obviously, the controls are different.
Yeah, because I mean,
the Soul Calibur games have a button specifically for blocking.
Yeah, Yeah, you got your block, kick, vertical, and horizontal as your kind of your 4 pad buttons. But I mean, in later iterations now, like in 6, you've got your. Yeah, it's hard to explain what they are. There's one that basically will trigger your super, which takes your soul gauge. There's one that does that kind of the stone paper scissors mode. Again, the mode, I apologise, the mode completely evades me what that's called. But there was so much more to it than. Well, we'll put it this way: in Tekken 8, to a degree, you can get away with button mashing. If you tried that in Soul Calibur, you are brown bread. You won't even land a damn hit if you button mash.
You'll get pasted. Yeah.
So, I suppose with that, I mean, that is, I was keen to, for us to highlight the mechanics of the game, how different Soul Calibur is to Tekken or any other. I can't even think of another game that is even remotely similar to the Soul Calibur games.
No, not really. There's not any that get any sort of similarity to it at all. I mean, the button layout is the same as Virtua Fighter, but I think that's it, really.
Yeah, but I mean, and the obviously the comparisons end right there. So
yeah,
I suppose and the next point, kind of which we really wanted to touch on here, which I'm very keen about, is Soul Calibur's roster. Soul Calibur's roster is so good. It really is. I mean, this was kind of when I started really thinking that there isn't a bad character. I mean, even far back as okay, excluding kind of the jokish characters where you had like a jester or a lizard man or they kind of suck. But you know what I mean. It's just in general. Okay, the ones who've basically made it every step of the way from Soul Blade to Soul Calibur 6. The ones who've made it there, they've earned their right to be there because they're so iconic. I mean, Mitsurugi obviously is your main guy, isn't he?
I mean, even somebody like Elysium, who's only been in one game, which was 5,
right?
But very worthy of being in it. Yeah, it wasn't just an afterthought character. It was actually pretty good, actually worth playing as, not one of the throwaway shitty ones.
No, I see what you mean, but I mean, okay, right. If we talk about the ones who've been there kind of from start to finish, you go Mitsurugi for obvious reasons. We've already mentioned Taki, the basically Japanese ninja Buffy. Sung Mina has always been there, the Korean girl runs away from her father, the one with the halberd.
That's right, yeah.
I mean, Siegfried Stauffen, I think that's how you pronounce his surname, who, spoiler alert here, becomes Nightmare because he gains the soul edge. Cervantes,
yeah.
Volvo. Killick wasn't in Soul Blade, was he?
He wasn't in the original, no, but he's
definitely in 2.
Yeah, he's in 2 and all the rest.
Actually, yeah, no, you're right. He was in Soul Calibur 1, wasn't he? Actually,
yeah, that's right.
Actually, Soul Calibur 1, that's when Shanghua first came into it. Actually,
that's it. Yeah.
Because I like Shanghua. I mean, I'm quite biased. I always tend to go for the Chinese girl, but yeah, no, I like Shanghua. But yeah, I mean, Soul Calibur 1. I mean, here's another character who's become iconic since debuting in 1. Ivy Valentine with the whip sword. I mean, we draw attention to it for other reasons. If you watch either of our Twitch channels.
And
the Greek girl.
What's her name?
Yeah, the Greek girl. Sophia. Yeah, Sophia.
Yeah,
and then they brought her sister in.
Yes.
Who plays pretty much the same. Cassandra's not bad, but
yeah, because when they brought in Link, he played exactly like that, pretty much.
It's interesting you should mention Link because I've got anyone who's watched my YouTube knows I've normally got a bit of a problem with guest characters. Now, Soul Calibur for me has been the sliding scale of brilliant and terrible, but nothing in the middle. They're either brilliant or terrible.
Yeah, they're either worth using or what's the point?
Yeah, why are they there? You're wasting my time by putting this character who doesn't belong in this game. I mean...
Yeah. Personally, I didn't mind Link.
I did.
And I didn't mind Heihachi, but I wasn't a fan of Spawn.
Yeah, I mean, I did a bit of research here because I was trying to refresh my memory. I mean, it's a Todd McFarlane character, but I believe it was called Necrid.
Yes, Necrid.
But for all intents and purposes, it was basically Spawn, but without guns.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I see exactly what you mean. Heihachi, I thought, was a strange decision when in Namco's IP, they had a character in Tekken who wields a sword. In fact, they've got two.
Yeah.
And then they changed Heihachi.
They got him and Yoshimitsu, yeah.
Yeah. Yoshimitsu came in late. Oh, actually, no, Yoshimitsu was unlockable, I think, in 2. But he only kind of became a bit more mainstay in the main roster from 4 onwards, I believe.
Mm.
I think.
Yeah, when he become a base roster character, yeah.
I mean, and I've always thought, look, they brought in Yoshimitsu, where's Kunimitsu? Come on now. But no, that's not going to happen because Kunimitsu is far too similar to Taki.
Yeah. I mean, Haomaru was a natural fit.
You know what? Yeah, right. Let's talk about Soul Calibur 6 for a sec. The guest characters in Soul Calibur 6 are magnificent. Absolutely magnificent. Apart from Geralt plays weird. I mean, I personally have not played the Witcher games. I did do a video of reviewing Geralt of Rivia in Soul Calibur 6, and I thought he was okay. But the other guest characters...
If you're a fan of The Witcher, it's right up your street. But not for me.
Yeah. So let's talk about who they be.
Instead of him in 6, they could probably have had a Last Blade character maybe as a guest.
Oh, that'd be good.
Yeah.
Well, they did bring in a Samurai Shodown character.
Yeah.
And hot take. He's probably the best character in Soul Calibur 6. You know what I mean? Overall,
he's easily top 3 out of that game.
He has translated so well. Now, I must admit, when I downloaded it, because he is DLC, we're talking about Haomaru here. He is DLC. I was kind of worried, thinking, how the hell did they translate from a 2D fighter, that is the Samurai Shodown games, into a 3D? And they did a fantastic job.
Well, to be fair, because there was a 3D arcade Samurai Shodown game, I think that helped in the translation to Soul Calibur, I think.
Yeah, okay. His movement, he does that kind of that firestorm tornado where he throws at them. It's the same movement, but it's in a 3D fighter. How cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's got two because obviously he's got his version of an uppercut with his sword, Dragon Punch.
The Dragon Punch, basically, yeah. His Hadouken in his Dragon Punch.
But all his Samurai Shodown moves, you can either do them the inputs what we're used to, or there's the Soul Calibur input of doing them as well. Yeah.
There is a part of me that kind of, I don't know if it was the same for you, that seeing Haomaru translate so well into Soul Calibur 6 kind of made you want more of the Samurai Shodown guest characters to come in.
Yeah, there's quite a lot of them that would be a perfect fit.
I can't think of one who wouldn't be. No. If you look at modern Samurai Shodown, I can't think of a single one of them that wouldn't fit really nicely into Soul Calibur 6.
I mean, Tokugawa with his 6 swords, he'd be fun.
Yeah, no, he would. As long as you don't have that guy hopping on one leg, that's fine. With the Kabuki maker. You know what I mean. So.
Yeah, because he's got the staff weapon, hasn't he?
He's got a halberd, but he's a hopping twit, and I can't stand him. But apart from him, absolutely love it. But I mean, I basically trash on guest characters a lot, and I know I do this, but my main in Soul Calibur 6 is a guest character because I play 2B the most. I mean,
of course,
let's not ignore the fact Nier Automata is a very, very, very good game. I mean, traditionally, of who's left now in the current roster going forward, normally I'd go for Shanghua, who is normally I go for. But when I saw 2B in, I thought, I wonder what she's like, because I didn't like Noctis in Tekken 7 for the same reason that I seem to like 2B, which is they can conjure swords. And that sounds ridiculous. You can't put
they've,
that as Soul
they've
Calibur.
got their mind power, haven't they? So
Yeah, 2B is amazing to play as. She is so fast, she combos well. I absolutely love playing as her, and I know it's almost a cheap blow. There's who do you main in Soul Calibur 6, and I say 2B, and you get funny looks. But yeah, I recognise that. I mean, that's why it's just easier to just say Shanghua for me. But yeah, I thought she was a strange decision, but paid off. You know what I mean?
yeah, it was a gamble that worked.
Yeah, but I mean,
Yeah.
we talk about guest characters though. I mean, I count him as guest character, even though his base roster is Yoshimitsu. And this is the burning one, which you're going to love. This Soul Calibur 6 is the best version of Yoshimitsu. He's better in that than he is in Tekken, which I can see will upset a lot of people.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion.
I mean, some of the other Soul Calibur games, they're all better than how he is in Tekken.
Yeah. I mean, I will say with Tekken 8, they've kind of realised that he's not a joke character. He is actually a character to be taken seriously, and he is good again.
Yeah, Tekken 8, how can I put it? They've serioused him up a bit.
Yeah, but let's ignore facts. Soul Calibur 6 came out in 2018. Tekken 8 only came out this year. That's a 6-year gap.
Yeah.
Let's be perfectly honest. You know, it was like, I mean, yeah, Tekken 7 was 2017. So yeah, so you know, Soul Calibur 6 was like, you know what? Let's make Yoshimitsu good. They go, you know what? We like good Yoshimitsu, and that's the version we got in Tekken 8. I suppose you could look at it that way.
I like just to talk about him in Tekken 8 for a little bit longer. I like that his sword is black. It looks really, excuse the pun, but it looks sharp.
Yeah, it does. I mean, Soul Calibur 6's customizable options are so good. I mean, let's be honest, Tekken 8's customizable things are trash. You compare that to Soul Calibur 6, which was technically the previous Namco release before that. Soul Caliburs are so good, yet Tekken 8's is so It's just so I don't know if they're just trying to make you buy outfits in the Tekken shop, and it's just a little money spinner.
all the good stuff looks it needs unlocking, doesn't
price locked, yeah, paywalled. Yeah, and that kind of is a shame, because I've had a lot of fun doing cosplays using Soul Calibur as kind of the base for it. I mean, as I said, I've made about 5 characters from Demon Slayer in Soul Calibur 6 mainly to use in the Libra of Soul mode.
That's right.
I love it. It is really good, and yeah, I mean, roster wise, as I said beforehand, I was
of course in 6, the bad guy in Libra of Soul is Aswell. Or,
yeah.
Or
yeah. See, again, as a kind of mega evil bad guy, he doesn't get talked about a lot, does he?
No.
And he's actually proper evil.
He looks a bit like Krauser with his purple beard.
He does, but if you were to say who's the kind of antagonist of Soul Calibur, people will tend to go for the Nightmares and Infernos.
Yeah, and Cervantes as well.
Yes, because back in Soul Blade, Cervantes, spoiler alert, was in fact Soul Edge.
Yeah, because once you beat him, he transformed.
He just becomes a pink glowing skull.
Yeah.
He's that teleport. He's got some teleport double dual wield slam move, and that used to wind me up the damn quick. I know Inferno's got something similar, and I will say Inferno and Soul Edge were real challenges.
Yeah.
And I mean real challenges, but not in the cheap way that kind of Tekken arcade bosses tend to be. They were just genuinely, and I always say, he goes, be better by being better, don't cheat. And they are just genuinely quite a sizable challenge.
Yeah, it's a genuine challenge. There's no, it's not input ready.
No, it's not, because then it plays like an actual sword fight.
Yeah, it's just their defensive timing is so much better.
Yeah.
That's all it is, and you've just got to work your way around it. That's all you got to do.
It's a real patient build-up, and it is. I mean, I hate it when gamers on social media just say, if you say, "Oh, I'm struggling with this," and they all get good. that's such a cop out thing to say. Sometimes
That is such a excuse the word, wanky thing to say.
I was going to say it's the motto of the incel, but yeah, it's the
Yeah.
it really is. But sorry, we're going to come to a tangent here. But it was just I don't know. I mean, like the bosses in the Soul Calibur games were a challenge worth being rather than being cheap. And that kind of goes along with kind of what I was saying is there's not real any bad character in, well, if you look at Soul Blade, is there a bad character in Soul Blade? No, not really.
No, that's it. I mean, it's quite close to being a perfect roster.
I was
really.
saying, don't say the P word.
Well, it's quite close.
It's something for everyone, and I think with Edge Master mode, where you can tailor the weapons, which do make a difference to your fighting style, even if it's the same character, that itself is such a good combination for tactics. So, I mean, we were talking about this.
I mean, if you like your nimble characters, you've got Sophitia and Taki. If you like your middle of the road guys, you got Siegfried and I nearly said Roy.
Siegfried and Roy with their tiger. Because some of them white tiger.
And Mitsurugi.
Mitsurugi and Huang were kind of the ones everyone tends to go for at school.
Yeah. And then you've got your heavy sluggers like Rock.
And see, Rock doesn't suit my style at all. It's the same way you don't tend to see me playing Jack in Tekken. Or Gigas.
Yeah.
But yeah, they don't suit me. I suit your quick comboers. I mean, like I say Soul Calibur 1 onwards, Shanghua came into it. She's perfect for me because she's got like a rapier, so she's fast.
And, who's that blonde-haired fella
with the rapier? Raphael,
that's it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, because I like with him, you can get in, do 3 quick hits and then step back.
Yeah, but they brought his daughter in as well, didn't they? Because they got Amy now as well.
That's right. Yeah.
Again, all really, really good characters, but with such huge backstories to them. I love it. It's very easy to get immersed into it.
Yes.
So that kind of brings you on to my kind of the last point, which I really wanted to point out here is we just I want to hear kind of your opinion on this, of these claims that if you type in Soul Calibur 6 or just Soul Calibur on YouTube, the first handful of videos you're going to get will be the rise and fall of Soul Calibur. Is Soul Calibur a dead franchise? Is it a dead enterprise? Does anyone even play Soul Calibur anymore? That angers me, if I'm perfectly honest.
Yeah,
but what's your take on it?
It's a shame to see that kind of thing in terms of Soul Calibur, because it's not dead. It has a very, very large fan base and community. Yeah, and loyal, yeah. Because there's a lot of people in the Soul Calibur community. Soul Calibur is the only fighter they'll play. They don't play anything else.
That's quite a sad existence if you only play one thing, but I see what your point.
Yeah, because they're into it so much they don't think anything else is as good, and that's fine.
I mean, it's got ring outs that do wind me up. I mean, it's the same reason I hate ring outs in games, but I understand why they're there.
But the ring outs do provide some funny moments, because when you're both close to the edge and you knock them out, you can just follow them.
Yeah, but going back with the sidestep, the roll is just as severe in terms of orbiting around them. You can roll on the floor and be like behind them in like 2 up presses, which is hilarious, I think.
Yeah, you can do a complete 180. Yeah.
But this is what I mean. I mean, I tried listening to this ridiculous justification that the Soul Calibur games are dead. They're not. They're not to me. They never will. Is there such thing as a dead franchise? A dead franchise is one where the developers come out and said, we are never making one again. Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, so like we mentioned earlier before we came on, Bloody Raw. They've not said they're not going to make a new one.
They just haven't.
Yeah.
But, in the law of gaming, never say never. What was the year gap between Streets of Rage 3 and 4?
Yeah.
27 years?
And Fatal Fury.
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. For example, Real Bout 3 came out when 1990. What? 8?
Well, no, the last Fatal Fury was Mark of the Wolves.
Oh,
Wasn't it?
Oh, yeah, and that was 2002, 3. Anyway, beginning of the 2000s, wasn't it?
99, I think.
Was it? Oh God,
Let me just have a look.
it's as old as 99. Seriously.
I think so. Yeah. Let me just.
You did that on purpose, so on another podcast to go. Mark of the Wolves is one of the greatest fighters ever made. Yeah, you're doing it on purpose now.
Yeah. 26th of November 1999.
Amazing, and with City of the Wolves coming out next year.
Yeah.
That means 26-year gap. That is one shy of the Streets of Rage 3 to 4.
Yeah.
In terms of a gap, so never say never.
Yeah.
But yeah,
No, that's
Bloody Raw. I would love to see another Bloody Raw.
Yeah, I enjoyed Bloody Raw. It wasn't one that I played religiously, not like CVS2 or something.
It was gimmicky.
But, it had enough about it for you to enjoy it and want to play it again.
If you look beyond the whole animality, changing into animals, it's actually quite a solid fighter. Bloody Raw.
Yeah.
We're going on a tangent here. We're here to talk about Soul Calibur, talk about Bloody Raw now, but the point still stands. Do I consider Bloody Raw a dead franchise? No, they just haven't made a game in a very, very long time.
Yeah, I mean, what I loved best about Bloody Raw was the funky cancels you could do.
I thought you were going to say the chameleon then. I was really worried you were going to say the chameleon or the bunny girl. But
I like the bunny girl for research purposes.
To be honest, the bunny girl combos incredibly well.
Yeah, she does.
She does.
Yeah.
She's my kind of character. She's fast and she's quick.
Yeah.
It's fast. That's the same thing. She combos quickly and she's a fast, evasive character. So that's it.
Yeah, she's quite nimble. Yeah.
It's the same reason. Yeah, I do like Taki. I do like Shanghua in Soul Calibur. Who
Yeah.
are your mains in Soul Calibur?
Well, the first character I ever picked, because I still remember vividly when I first saw it in the arcade. I was at Butlins at Skegness,
Of course.
and I walked by it and I thought, oh, it's got swords.
Yeah.
And
I like swords.
I like the look of Siegfried because I saw him in the Attract demo.
Mm.
And so Siegfried was a main for a while. Obviously, Mitsurugi, everybody played Mitsurugi. But then when Killick came along, when it changed into Soul Calibur, Killick is my main.
He's rapid. Killick combos so smoothly.
Yeah, you can slide in from horizontal to vertical and then into that when he spins it around and it does like 6-7 hits. Yeah.
It's interesting you mentioned Killick because that's another point I want to make is who is the main franchise character of Soul Calibur? There isn't one. Killick gets a lot of if you do kind of the book mode in Soul Calibur 6, it starts off Killick, because it's Killick and Maxi who go travelling. Yeah. And you sit there and think, oh, Killick's main character, and then within a blink of an eye, it just completely changes to someone else, and then you've got kind of the character chapters as well. I mean, I haven't done Killick and Maxi's one. I kind of naturally will go for the characters who I like. So I did Shanghua's one. I've done Setsuka's one. I enjoy playing Setsuka, the girl with the sword and her umbrella.
Yeah.
So
I mean, you could probably say
it should be Mitsurugi, isn't it?
I was going to say I hate to use this comparison, but it's just the best way to explain it. Yeah, Mitsurugi is the Ryu, isn't he?
You say that, but I always go on about your main character is the characters on the box art. Who's on the box art? Who's the biggest character on the box art of Soul Blade? Can you remember?
There was one front cover with fucking Voldo on
That's
it.
what I mean. The one I've got is Voldo.
Yeah.
Now, you wouldn't describe Voldo as the main character.
No.
But, I mean, that would be a weird old main character if it was Voldo was your main man. Voldo's just weird, isn't he? He's definitely, I would say, probably one of the most strangest characters in fighting games ever.
Just bizarre.
He is
bizarre.
If you watch someone doing like a Voldo playthrough on like Twitch or YouTube, you sit there and going, what is going on? It's the way he just contorts himself. He does the old Exorcist spider walk. And he's got that.
Oh yeah, he does, doesn't he? Yeah.
He's got that throw where he like jumps up and then he drills into them into the ground. I love that one, but it's so hard to get the timing right. But if you had that guillotine,
you got to get that on the come down, haven't you?
Yeah. But it's just this is what I mean. The way I always gauged it is whoever's on the front cover is the main character. So with like Hayamuru on Samurai Shodown 2, it's his face. It's just his face, isn't it? So it's
funny because I mean a slight tangent, but there was at least 3 different front covers for CVS2.
Okay.
And it had that dipstick from Rival Schools on one of them.
Yeah.
Kyosuke or whatever his name is. The one I had for PS2 had Chun-Li on the front, and then for the Xbox version, it had Haomaru on the front.
Yeah, see, I do quite like it when you have different covers for each of the different games, kind of thing. I'm just trying to remember who was on the other covers of the other ones.
Soul Calibur 2 had one character, and then depending on which version you had, it had like Link or whoever.
Yeah, because I got one on PlayStation 2. Soul Calibur 3 was definitely Zasamael, the guy with the scythe, wasn't it?
Oh, Zashalamel,
yeah, Zasamael, whoever his name is.
Yeah.
Basically, the guy that looks like Astaroth but isn't a demon. I don't like Astaroth. Actually, I said they're bad characters. Astaroth was obviously your big axe wielder when they got they swapped Rock for him. I don't like him. So
no, the big characters, the heavy damage guys in Soul Calibur, I'm not a fan of.
No, I think Astaroth is too fast. Yeah. Rock, at least they had it balanced. That yes, he does a lot of damage, but he's slow. Astaroth, I don't find very slow at the times.
Yeah, Astaroth can move a bit,
Yeah. I just find that's a little bit on the cheap side, but I kind of do accept that. So
you catch him at the wrong point in the game, like in arcade mode. You catch him near the end of the line. He's going to be tough.
I was going to say, if you watch my Yoshimitsu video, I lost my rag with him because he just counters far too easily. But look how fondly we've been speaking about all of these. There is so much in Soul Calibur 6 that you can do. I mean, I said there is so many different modes to it. There's so much lore into it. So going back to the point, I do not accept that Soul Calibur is considered a dead franchise. I think that is a ridiculous statement by people who seem to think that if you're not churning games out every single year, it's a failure. I mean, I'm going to sound like I'm going to have a go at something here. Is why did I remaster The Last of Us? You can't remaster a game that was 4 years old. Are they doing it they say that's not a dead franchise? No, of course not. That's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, but you can make it a dead franchise by releasing too much.
Are you talking about Grand Theft Auto 5 being released on 5 generations of consoles or something?
Yeah.
That's just
because people will get sick of it.
Yeah. You can easily. I mean, I allow King of Fighters because each year was so markedly different.
Yeah, and there was new characters in it.
It was a real
new combos.
It was a real quick evolution, wasn't it?
Yeah, I mean, in a lot of in some cases, rather, characters would play completely differently. Like when for a few games, they made Robert a charge character, for example.
I thought you were going to talk about changing how Burning Tackle was input.
Oh, Rising Tackle,
Tackle, sorry, yeah.
Yeah, from a charge to Dragon Punch, then they made it a charge again. Yeah. And now, in KOF 15 and Street Fighter, it's back to Dragon Punch.
Yeah. I can't keep up.
Yeah.
Anyway.
But no, Soul Calibur is nowhere near being dead.
No, I mean, there's a couple of other ones they did cite in that as well, which...
There's still a healthy a healthy fan base and community out there, and it's still being played at tournaments. Maybe not Evo anymore, but
Evo's not the
you
be
know,
all end all.
no, that's it.
You know, that's
The-
not God mode for fighting games. That if it's not Evo, it's failed. No, it's rubbish.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I mean, we go back and play old fighters anyway, so I mean, I suppose that's a statement that maybe I'm getting annoyed about for no reason. But I mean,
Nothing. When it comes to gaming, nothing is dead as long as people are still playing it.
Oh, 100%. I mean, this is just it. I mean, the whole dead franchise thing. I don't know if it was done for clout or it was done just to annoy people for attention. But I mean, they did mention like Virtua Fighter and Dead or Alive. They're not dead franchises either. I mean, that just speaks more to the credibility of the creator. I'm sorry if that was your video, but you're wrong, in my opinion.
Yeah. I mean, Virtua Fighter Ultimate Showdown is very well loved.
I still like Dead or Alive 6.
Yeah. I mean, and earlier this year there was murmurs coming out that they're going to make another Virtua Fighter. So
exactly. So I mean, I don't know if that was just being insightful, being controversial for the sake of views, but you know, I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I think you disagree.
You can guarantee that it was used to be at least a little bit clickbaity.
Well, it worked because I clicked on it, listened to the first 5 minutes, disagreed with it, and stopped listening. So, yeah. You know, I didn't put a thumbs down on it because I don't believe in putting thumbs down on videos. But
the only thing I will say, like again before we went live, I will say Soul Calibur probably could do with another game to freshen it up.
Yeah, no, and I agree with that. I think it feels we're overdue one. You know, it does.
Plus, with this fighting game renaissance we've got going on at the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
which is pleasing to see.
Because then Bandai Namco can have two good ones.
Yeah, I mean that's just it. They always have done.
Yeah.
So why not?
Yeah.
It's just look, Tekken 8 has done fantastically well. Is that kind of the elixir to bring a Soul Calibur 7 into it? For me, I hope so.
Yeah. No, I hope so. Hopefully within the next 18 months, really.
That would be nice. That would be nice.
Yeah. To capitalise on this wave of...
I actually hope not in the next 18 months because we'll be playing City of Wolves, so...
Oh, yeah.
we'll be cams on that. But anyway, I think we've kind of said all we need to say here. So yeah. Hi, Booster. Thank you very much, as always, for joining me for doing these. I thoroughly enjoy doing this.
Yeah, no, thank you very much.
You know, for one last time, do you want to just kind of just talk about your channel very briefly, please?
Yeah, again, it's Hayabusa's Fight Palace on YouTube. Like I said earlier, mainly it's just shorts on some quick combos, you know, for various fighting games. But there are other videos on there, like little bits of Terminator Resistance and RoboCop, and I have a ton of one-credit playthroughs on various games from Master System to PS1 stuff. You know, so if that sounds like your bag, drop me a sub.
Brilliant. And I'm of course Sinister Graves. You can find me on @SingGame on YouTube. Both links to our channels will be down in the description for it. But most importantly, if you've come this far, thank you very much for choosing to spend your time listening to us. So that be kind of we kind of glossed over a lot of Soul Calibur there because again, there's 7 games in this franchise. That's a lot to cover in an hour. So we've kind of just picked and chosen what we kind of want out of it. So yeah, hopefully you find this, and hopefully you can kind of check out other stuff. I mean, if you're new to listening to us, we've done podcasts on the original Fatal Fury trilogy, King of Fighters. I still don't know how we managed to fit all of that into one podcast.
We did well there.
We did incredibly well there, and of course our inaugural podcast was actually on the Tekken series. So, but that'll be on our channel, which is known as the Fight Buddies on YouTube. Hopefully, give us a sub and come listen to some of the stuff. We've got some other stuff we've got planned for Fight Buddies as well, so we're not just doing podcasts. But hopefully, you'll stick around for that, and hopefully, we will see you next time.